Good morning. Well, education given in our schools normally is expected to be the best. And the public schools across Canada typically learn about the world's major religion at some point during studies. It is welcome sign. You know your neighbor, your friend, his customs, his cultures, his values. Teaching of religion is always welcome. But when the teaching becomes enforced, when the teaching is another name for proselytizing, for spreading the religion, and one religion, then it's not typical of the modern secular scientific society. It is typical of the dark ages when the school used to teach religion of a particular sect, particular community. I've seen the latest guidebook prepared and prescribed by Toronto District School Board. It has done an appreciable job in one way, that it designates a number of heritage months throughout the year. Welcome. As I said earlier, it's always welcome to know others. It has a heritage month for Sikhs, a heritage month for the South Asians, heritage month for the Jews, and now there's a heritage month for the Muslims. Islamic heritage month is this month, October. But the next step does worry me and does cause me anxiety. Is Toronto District School Board an organ for spreading Muslim religion? Is it indulging in religious instruction and indoctrination? The 170-page guidebook prepared for teachers recommends a variety of religious intrusion, I'll call it intrusion, into the public school system. You remember there used to be Lord's Prayer at one time in the public schools, and that was banished because it was religious. And now it is announced, a list of announcements is to be done after playing O Canada, and it says, say Assalamu Alaikum as soon as O Canada is finished, and then it has to be followed by an invitation to visit a local mosque. That's absolutely uncalled for. If we do not say, let Jesus guide you, if we do not say shalom, if we do not say Sat Sri Akal, if we do not say Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, if we do not use the greeting of any religion, then why use the greeting Assalamu Alaikum? But that is in the book, and that is an instruction given to the teachers, and also an invitation to the local mosque. Why not to the other religious centers? That story doesn't stop here. It goes further. The children are encouraged to have paper cutouts to construct replicas of famous mosques around the world. Good from the architecture point of view. But why only mosques? Why not Vatican? Why not Golden Temple? Why not Tirupati Temple? Why not the Mount Sinai? Then another assignment which the students are supposed to write is an article on one of the 12 Muslim Canadians. Okay? If any Muslim Canadian has contributed, why not? Celebrate it. But then celebrate Sikhs, celebrate Jews, celebrate Hindus, celebrate Chinese, celebrate Philippines. Unfortunately, out of these 12 Muslim Canadians, 4 are liberal politicians working in Queen's Park. And one of them is Ontario's Attorney General, Yasser Naqvi. Are these part-time for 4, 5, 6 years, 8 years politicians who have made a foray in politics, the leaders? No. They are not going to leave a major imprint on the society, so why study them? If they had said, study the life of those people who have impacted the Canadian culture, I could have understood it. And all this is to be done, saying Assalamu Alaikum, invitation to public school, using paper cutouts to construct replicas of the mosques, and writing articles on the 12 Canadian Muslim Canadians who are politically well connected, are politically successful. This has to be done during the class time, within the class time, during the school work. And since they have to be done in the classroom, since they have to be done in the school time, then the students of other religions would also be perforced to do the same thing. And, somebody said, well, look at this for the Heritage Month. But no, this is not restricted to the month of October, because the guidebook notes, and I quote, the goal is to embed this learning within every classroom, across curriculum, and throughout the school year. So it's to be done throughout the school year. It is a part of the curriculum. It is to be done in the classroom. So, and the purpose is to embed these teachings. And then, it goes still worse. The guide doesn't focus solely on the historical or the scriptural matters either. It delves into a variety of social issues, but it whitewashes the controversies around the faith. It says, while women sit at the back of the different sections of the mosque during prayers, and I again quote, Islam never considered where men and women perform their prayers in the terms of gender superiority and inferiority, and it should not be perceived this way. But it does not mention the second-class treatment the Muslims women suffer while in Parda, or when the discrimination is there against them in Saudi Arabia, or when the evidence of women is half the evidence of man. Only 2 women are equal to 1 man, where the rape can be committed to have been committed only when 4 eyewitnesses observe it. Is that really Islam, and is that the teaching we are going to tell our students? Then it goes still further. It goes Pew Center to present data of the Muslim population, but amidst Pew Center's report on the troubling data about the Muslim perspectives. And that data is the majority of the Muslims in the various regions across the world support implementing Sharia law. And these particularly represent South Asia and the Middle East. And the Sharia law includes people who leave Islam and embrace another faith. Apostasy is a crime and a sin. Then the Prime Minister, the government is all going gaga. The Prime Minister is participating in all the pride parades. But this guide is notoriously silent and does not address to the issue of intolerant view of LGBT throughout anywhere. And this is when Toronto District School Board has a vocal inclusion on sexual diversity. You see, what pains me is the parliaments are grappling today with motion 103 on defining Islamophobia and banning Islamophobia. But the guide offers a broad definition to be recited that thus includes the mere dislike of political Islam. And it quotes, Islamophobia refers to fear, prejudice, hatred, or dislike against Islam or Muslims. The actual curriculum for class 11, grade 11, is different. It does include a subject, the study of world religion, but it does not include or does not suggest anywhere any degree of preaching or converting. Research and inquiry skills are developed through the course as students explore and analyze contemporary and historical issues, the curriculum notes. But the guidebook, which was released in late September, just about a week or so back, is heavily influenced by National Council of Canadian Muslims, an activist organization in Ottawa. And if you remember way back in 2014, RCMP had pulled its support from the booklet published by this organization because of extremism due to the problem being adversarial one, opponent one. And then one thing more which troubles me. Why doesn't Toronto's District School Board have a Heritage Month for the Christians? Why doesn't it have a Heritage Month for the agnostics? They have been agnostic, doubting Thomas, right from the days the history started. Why doesn't it have a Heritage Month for Hindus? It does have a Heritage Month for the Jews and for the Sikhs. But nowhere the teaching of the Sikhism or Jewish faith as potently put in the guidebooks as they are for this Islamic month. There's a guidebook about Sikhs, but there's no guidebook about the Jewish. And the Jewish are one of the most persecuted communities of the world. Why this blatant discrimination? If this was to be done by an Islamic school, I would have no problem. But it's being done by a public school. And not one public school, but all the public schools that come under Toronto District School Board. Are we going to make the impressionable minds of other faiths more in tune and more ready for conversion to Islam? If that is the purpose, let the board have the courage to say it. Is the purpose to pander to the vote bank? If the government is so inclined, let it say it. Is it not a matter of discrimination? And does it not violate the human rights, where everybody has a right to practice his or her own religion? Is a sense of equity not missing? These things need to be raised. And I'm amazed that none of the so-called profit organizations has taken the step to sue the Toronto District School Board for this gross, unacceptable violation of the human rights. It is also a violation of my charter rights because it discriminates against other religions. What is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander. Tomorrow Hindus, Sikhs, Jews, Christians, Buddhists, Jains, each would be perfectly justified in demanding the same sort of latitude which is being given to one religion. But would Toronto District School Board oblige all of them? And if they do not, are they justified in being the custodians of the children's education and advancement? Should this board not be dissolved? Should this guidebook not be withdrawn? Should the instructions given not be countermanded? These are the questions that I put to you. Put to you as Canadians, as Ontarians, as Torontonians. Put to you as human beings. Put to you as rational, sane persons who can think beyond the immediate concern of one community, put to you as people whose cognitive skills have still not been blunted and who can see things in a proper perspective. Thank you.